Moses is dead. So after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, into the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. That part shows you right there that Israel is going into the land. All right. And that land of Canaan, Jerusalem, belongs to you Israelites. All right. The 12 tribes of Israel, that's who it belonged to. The Lord didn't give it to nobody else. It says, every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, excuse me, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness unto this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So that is still good today for Israelites, for us. That is still our stuff today. Right now, it's just stolen land and stolen property that's going to be required at the return of the Messiah. Okay? So with Joshua chapter 1 and 4, let's see. All the land of the Hittites. So it's going to be taken from them and given to us. Unto the great sea. So you get seashore. Okay, you get a coastline. And all the things that we read about in Deuteronomy 6 and Deuteronomy 8. It says, towards the going down of the sun shall be your coast. So that's our stuff. That stuff belongs to us. We'll get it. And that's why we got to be faithful and diligent and hold tight. And we have to be strong. Like Joshua said, be strong and very courageous. Now, when we read Ezra the priest that communicated with the Father through Urias, the angel, Ezra said that he saw the Israelites on Mount Sinai and that they were ones that stood so stiffly. What does it mean to stand stiffly? To deny yourself of worldly and ungodly lust. That means that you would have to sacrifice and go for it all. That means that you would have to be strong. You cannot be defiled. You cannot be corrupted. If you choose anything outside these laws, statutes, and commandments and these precepts, that's your reward. Now, there shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. Do you hear this? This is Joshua chapter 1 and 5. If we're in the commandments, the Bible says that nobody would have been able to stand before us. It doesn't matter who it is. They wouldn't have been able to prevail. Okay? Now, I got it. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. This is where people always get that from. And Deuteronomy 31, about the Lord will never forsake us. He will not fail us, nor will he forsake us if we keep the laws. Okay? Now, aside that, excuse me, if we don't, I just want to precept this very quickly. And oftentimes people, they run into this and then they wonder, like, why have the Most High failed them? Or why have the Lord forsaken them? How's it phrased? I think it's about when we are disobedient, how we suffer. One end, if we're doing right, then it's good. But to them that I think it's a Peter. You know what I'm talking about? How was that phrased? Because it's a complete opposite of this. Let's. Oh man, they get tribulation. I'm off.
You want to talk about tribulation and anguish?
Yeah.
Yes, Romans 2.
Romans 2. Okay, let's see.
2 and
Yes, 2 and 8. There we go. Romans chapter 2 and 8. Sorry. Actually, you can Romans chapter 2 and 6. It says, "Who will render to every man according to his deeds." So now, when we're back at Joshua chapter 1 and 5, says, "There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee." That meant the Lord would never have left us. "I will not fail thee nor forsake thee." So then when you hook Romans chapter 2 and 6 with it, I know I'm right. The scriptures is right. You believe in the scriptures. It says, "He will render to every man according to his deeds, to him who by patient continuance." Listen, patience, what does that mean? What is patience about? Patience is about waiting. Continuance, that means continue waiting. That doesn't mean wave or go back and forth for what you choose to do, what you choose to desire, what you choose to think and feel. No, that's you. That is never the Lord. So patience, who by patience, what are we reading? Romans chapter 2 and 7, "To them who by patient continuous in well-doing seek." That means you're looking. Why you have to wait and why you have to continue to wait. Okay, now you seek for glory and honor, immortality, eternal life. Look at the steps and stages that leads to the ultimate thing that everybody desires, resurrection from the dead. And while you have to wait, you got to be patient. You can't do you. Okay? But unto them that are what? Contentious. What is contentious? You fight back. You buck up. You strive. You argue. Again, too, against the Most High that's inside of his servants, the prophets. Because that's who the congregation of Israel fought against before when they kept sinning. That's why they were destroyed in the wilderness and did not get into the land. Because they were fighting the Most High that was inside of Moses and Aaron. And chose to like who? Tripping. They chose to like who? Who did they allow to speak to them? Caleb, remember, and who else? And Joshua. But unto them that are contentious and do not obey the truth. Okay? What is the truth? The laws, the instructions, the way. But obey unrighteousness. What is unrighteousness? Sin. What did he say? Indignation and wrath. So if you don't obey the word of truth, you end up getting indignation as violent hate from the Father. You end up getting that, man. Indignation from him. Does it happen the first day you walk down the street? No, it doesn't happen the first day you walk down the street. But eventually you cross a path to where it appears to be unsavory and you've run out of luck, what we call luck. You have no success. You're like, man, why is this happening unto me? You bit the dust. Indignation and wrath. Now you're in a situation that turned violent, swift, and wrathful. Tribulation. Like, wait a minute. This describes people's lives right here. And people trying to figure out, why is this happening unto me? Because of simple things, not obeying the truth. That's why it's happening. Not obeying the truth. What? What is this? Yeah. Look at this. It's road. Why am I going through tribulation? What else is there? Tribulation, anguish. What is anguish? Anguish is a spirit. The root word of anguish is anger. Why am I mentally and spiritually, emotionally disturbed and vexed, disgruntled, moved? Why do I feel like I don't like certain things or I don't like certain people? That's a spirit that God allowed to do what to you? Move you for not doing right. You don't get a chance to walk around in the fruit of the spirit, which is love, joy, peace, happiness. You don't get a chance to walk around like that. You get a chance to be mad as hell. That's what you get. You get a chance to have your whole day disrupted and messed up. That's what you get. Why? For hating the truth. Where's the truth coming out of the servants of the Most High? Who's speaking to them? The Most High. The Most High is inside of them telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And you hate it. You hate the Most High. That's why the Most High told Moses, step aside. I got the solution for them. Let me deal with them. But Moses, for him and Aaron fell on their face because they already knew that the people that who they was facing was the God and was the Most High. They already knew that, but our people did not know that. They kept blaming it on Moses and Aaron because they could not see past the flesh. That's how it is with us today. Don't let it be like that. You better have respect for people that sacrifice their lives for this truth, because you don't understand that these people are from your God. When you read Hebrews chapter 13, the part that you never, what is it, the second verse? It says, or the first verse, it says, what does it say? Be careful to entertain strangers, for some of you have entertained angels on the world. You don't understand that. You don't know. You just dealing with people any type of way, feeling any type of way, doing anything, saying anything. And the Most High is inside of those men, but you can't see past the flesh. You can't see the spirit because you are at war with what's being said because of temptation and lust, desire. It could be a desire for anything. It could be a job. Yeah, it could be a job or something. You could want to go fly airplanes or something. And the Lord be like, no, go preach the gospel. Now you up against somebody telling you about flying planes and opposed to, I got to be here with these crummy people to preach the gospel. You see the difference right there? Yeah. Like, I don't understand, bro, why you can't see this is a career. This is how I'm going to make my money. This is how I'm going to be able to take myself. I'm going to be able to fly back in on weekends. What happens? You get on a plane and it crash, man. Then what? Then you wake up in the spirit world getting chastised by the Father. We better start listening. You get anguish, man. Anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil. Everybody that does the wrong thing, you're going to get visited by these attributes of torment. Of the Jew first, Why? Because you know. And the Gentile. Who was the Gentile? Israel that was in outer darkness that did not know and understand. So you still don't get, you still can't escape. Yeah, you still can't escape. If you just learned this truth yesterday, or you just learned this truth for real, 2-3 months ago, you still held accountable to what the Most High has commanded and told you to do. You don't get a pass. You don't get out of it. Verse 12, it says, for as many have sinned without law shall also perish. What does that mean? I don't know the law. I didn't have the law. Nobody never, guess what? Perish. Because there's one thing that's going to judge this earth and it's going to judge the Most High's people. That's his laws. You're going to come up and be like, I don't have that law. I don't have the application. Fail. So what should you be doing? You should be gathering it from your youth up. And we're in our youth now. Ain't nobody above this. You ain't made it. Who are we? I made it. I'm in the kingdom. I'm going to make it. Bruh, sis, it's crazy and nuts is what you are. Everybody got to humble themselves. Everybody. To the Father is going to be in our youth. Gather instruction from your youth up. So as you mature, you're going to have it. When you become age, when you are around this thing, the longer you're around it, the more you have it. Because you're going to need it. The stuff that's being said, you're going to need it. We are not always going to be able to be having these classes. They can cut the internet off, and guess what? You won't be able to hear this voice. Or any other voice that you hear preaching this word. You're going to be trying to figure out what the book means itself. And don't realize that. What's going to happen when we pass away for some reason? Everything that we have, it goes with us. Remember Elijah the prophet? How Elisha wanted the spirit that was on him? Because the spirit that was on him was leaving when Elisha was leaving. So he wanted that spirit on him. He wanted that spirit. He didn't want that spirit to leave. So he had to pray, say, man, give me a double. Give me that spirit. Because when Elisha was gone, bye-bye. The spirit of the Most High that was on Elijah, Slakia, I'm saying Elisha, but I meant Elijah. The spirit of the prophet that was on Elijah was leaving with him. So I would advise you not to ignore the thing that you're being taught and that you use it as a stepping stone to grow off of. It doesn't matter to me that I have to preach it every other day. Don't worry about me. Worry about yourselves. Most High's will, I'm going to be okay. But we need to stop letting it fall on deaf ears because you're only going to hurt yourself. You're not going to hurt me. Whatever decision that you make is your decision. I'm just only saying choose wisely because it affects you. It does not affect me. You has got to sit in that judgment seat, and you are going to be judged by these laws of the Most High. If you ignore them, you still going to have to give an account. If you didn't ignore it, you still going to have to give an account. If you applied it or not. So I would advise you to man up or to woman up and to apply with all the strength that lie within you, with all your might, because you're going to need that type of level of energy and effort to pass. Now, Romans chapter 2, and I was reading at verse 12. It says, and as many have sinned, and the law shall be judged by it. Yeah. You know, the Most High is going to deal with you based upon what you know. Oh, you know to do good? Okay. Well, guess what? I expect nothing less than excellency from you. Because he did say to be perfect. Now, let's lose all of that and let's go back to where we was in Joshua, the first chapter. All right, so Joshua chapter 1. And remember, I'm going to read verse 5 again because he was exhorting them. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage. For unto this people shall thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swore unto your fathers to give them. Verse 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses, my servant, commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. Now, what we're reading, the Most High is saying this to who? Abunion. He's saying this to Joshua. Why? Because it trickles downhill. If it's for Joshua, it's for everybody else. They don't get a pass, and you can be less than what your teacher is teaching you to be. You can't be less. Your teacher is going to demand and command that you come up on the level. That's why the Most High gave them Joshua, so that they could be on the level. He didn't give them a sinner, somebody that didn't believe. He gave them true leadership. You cannot be found less. You have to rise to the occasion. That's what's expected from you. Nothing less, nothing short. Save the excuses, the explanations, and the reasons. They don't get counted for. They will be judged against you. Come out the laws, statutes, and the commandments, and you will always have success. Let your reasonings and your talk be of the word of the Most High. Now, verse 7. Did I read 7 yet? Yes. Verse 8. This is the law. This is the book of the law. This book of the law shall not depart out of their mouth. Yariel, who is the Most High telling this to? Joshua. That's right, Joshua. Look how strongly he's telling Joshua. Do you think that Joshua is going to bite his tongue when it comes to dealing with Israel? No. He's going to tell them the same thing, that this is what the Most High said. This is what's required. This book of the law shall not depart of thy mouth, Joshua. But hey, guess what, Joshua? But thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Look how he wants Joshua to be. He wants Joshua to be obsessed with it. Day and night. He wants Joshua to study it so that Joshua could obey it. So that when thoughts come up, Joshua used the thing that he'd been meditating on to fight against the thought that come up that told him not to listen to the word of the Lord. That's how we have to be a great nation. You got to be, in order to be a great person, you got to be like that. In order to be strong, you got to do that. You're going to have to meditate day and night on these scriptures, on the things that are taught to you, the things that are told to you, so that they can ponder through your mind all the time. Nothing else will work. Don't settle for nothing else. It don't work. Part-time, loving the Most High don't work. Because the part that you give up or you reason with is going to be so strong, it's going to lead you astray. You got to know if you're a part-time person or not. The Bible does say, examine yourself whether you are in the faith. You got to know if you part-time, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 21 and verse 17. Call it out. You can read that one.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 21 and verse 17. Ecclesiastes 21 and 17. They inquire at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation, and they shall ponder his words in their heart.
That's right. When you meditating day and night, and then you being taught on top of that, what's supposed to be happening? The stuff that you being taught is supposed to be pondering. You're supposed to think about it. So if you find yourself thinking about something that I've said in here, that's good. That's good. Oh, yeah, he taught that. He said that. I see and hear people quoting the stuff that ain't even physically heard in class, making post out of it. I said, okay, he heard that in the class. That's good. That was good. That's the precept right there. They require at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation. That means you should be asking. And they shall ponder his words in their heart. You know how something pounds your heart, beat hard, boom, boom, boom. That's how our words supposed to pounder into your mind. You're not supposed to be, why I can't get him out of my head. Oh, I hate to think about what he said. If you hate to think about what was said, that's wicked. The Bible talks about when we despise his word, because the Most High going to take it personally. You know what we're going to do? We're going to be your fool and say, oh, brother, don't worry about it. I forgive you. The Most High is going to be like, it depends. He might be like, nah, I'm not finna forgive him. He's blaspheming. Because blaspheming is to speak evil of the way of the Lord. You see that? And that's why I plead for us and be like, you know what? I understand you really don't know. But the Most High truly knows how much we know and how much we don't know. Moses did the same thing. Fell on his face, God, Lord, don't kill him, don't kill him. The Most High still, he killed him softly. 40 years. Okay, back to Joshua chapter 1 and 8. This book of the law shall not depart of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shalt thou make thy way prosperous, and then shalt thou have good success. So the Most High is preaching success. Do you not know that he's preaching to Joshua? So that Joshua could be a preacher, a minister. He said, you're going to have good success if you meditate. How you going to read something all the time but don't do it? Huh? If we read something all the time and we study something all the time and something is constantly always telling us what we should be doing, how are we like that but don't do it? We should be doing it. Do we agree or disagree as a congregation? We agree. Exactly. If you're reading and meditating upon this and it says don't do that, You should not do that. And it says do this, you should do it. Because what is it doing? It's taking out one mind frame and one thought process, and it's instilling another thing that man can instill in you. See, man can instill what the word of the Most High is instilling in you. That's why you got to spend time with it. You got to spend time with it. It has a job to do. It has a job to wash away all negativity, negative things that point against the word of the Most High. Thinking fast. I want this other link. Second Corinthians 10. That's what I want. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. You have to stay with me. Read that.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4.
Right. Read it like the Most High himself is telling them. Read it like you'll give like, hey, go ahead.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
For the weapons of our warfare is not what? Carnal, not physical. What weapon are we talking about? The word of the Most High. The ability that made us to do what day and night? Meditate. You see? So that weapon, that's a weapon right there. Everybody realize that. I want y'all to understand that. That's a weapon right there. I got something that has something for anything that try to come into my mind. That's how you supposed to be able to feel. Go ahead.
But mighty through God.
But it's mighty through the Most High. It's strong and can't nothing fade it. Go ahead.
To the pulling down.
To the what? Destroying, crushing it. If something come into your mind, crushed. Mighty through the pulling down. Go ahead.
Of stronghold.
Of stronghold. This thing try to get into your mind and try to create a strong tower of defense not to leave. Huh? So some of you that's got thoughts that come into your mind that you can't get rid of because you let it stay there and you don't meditate upon the scriptures day and night. And what if you do meditate upon the scriptures day and night? You know what the other issue and problem is? You do not rehearse it. You don't practice it. You don't apply it. And deep down inside, you don't even really want it to take effect. Remember, the word of the Most High only takes effect if you believe. If you don't believe, it does not take an effect upon you. It does not help you. Because you might be like, hey, some of you meditate. Some of you read. Some of you listen. Some of you study. But why is this thing taking camp inside of my brain? Tell me that one. Is there because you don't really want it to go. How are we supposed to feel about sin? We supposed to hate sin, brother. Sin's supposed to be vile and nasty and wicked and evil. All right? That's how sin's supposed to be. I want us to go to Psalms 15. Very quickly. Psalms chapter 15 and verse 4.
This is Psalm chapter 15 and verse 4.
Read it.
In whose eyes a vile person is contemned.
In whose eyes of a... So guess what? If you don't look at a vile person and hold them in contempt, it ain't going nowhere. You reading, you studying, you meditating. But why I keep doing it then? I'm reading the Bible because you don't hold in contempt. You know what contempt is? A lack of respect. You're disrespectful. That's right. Something vile supposed to be a disrespect to you. It's supposed to be offensive to you. It's supposed to be cross the line, man. You crossed the line. You done too much. That's why you cannot pull down the thought that went into your mind and straight live there. Go ahead.
But he honored them that fear the Lord.
Right, you're supposed to honor them that fear the Most High and hold the person and thing that's vile in contempt. Go ahead.
He that swear to his own hurt and change it not.
That means you about what you about. You know you gonna do something and you gonna keep your word to your own hurt, to it hurts you. To it hurts you. You don't put yourself out there and then turn around and, well, I'm going to do so because I want to be confident. I didn't want to be without. I didn't want to do this. You ain't a man and you ain't a woman. To your own hurt. To you take the load. This is the word of the Most High, man. This is what it's got to be like. And nothing else. This is how we get rid of things that lodge into our mind, man. Let's go back to 2 Corinthians chapter 10. See, the Most High has given us the keys, given us the power, given us the ways to overcome, to be the strong person. You got to take it and you got to accept it. It's being taught to you. It's being taught to you. All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God. Because you've been meditating day and night. So when some thought come in, you're like, there's no shape, form, or fashion that this could be in my mind. It does not belong here. Do we understand that? It does not what?
Belong here.
It does not belong here. And you got to use the things that you meditate upon to get rid of it, to cast it down, to treat it vile, and to realize this is a disrespect to me. And the Most High is looking down at me, man. What else does the Bible say, man? Then it says, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. It's going to bring you back into captivity to say, I must obey my leader. I must obey the Christ. I must obey Christ. I must obey the scriptures. I must obey the Most High. Let's go back to Joshua, man. This is the type of leader that you had, that we had in that time. And that same spirit that was on him is the same spirit that's in our people today. You just got to find it. And when you find it, go after it and say, that's how I want to be. Joshua chapter 1. This is how we get good success. In verse 9, have I not commanded thee? That's a commandment. Joshua 1 and 9, be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. So nobody should be in fear on where they living and what they doing and where they at. If you got the spirit of the Most High inside you, the spirit of the Most High is not afraid. Because you know how to deal with every situation. Remember, David had the spirit of the Most High, and when he wrote the Psalms, he was in the spirit. And David said, I'm walking through the valley of death. I am not afraid. The staff that David had with him was not a literal, let me get a stick in case somebody come up against me. It was the word of the Most High. That comforted him because he knew that the Most High would never leave and forsake him into a situation, something he could not handle. We have got to get the world up out of our mind. That leaven is confusing us. Satan comes through things to confuse the mindset. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, so we at the book of Joshua, chapter 1 and 11, pass through the host and command the people, saying, prepare you victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass over this Jordan and go in to possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you to possess it. And to the Reubenites and to the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh spake Joshua, saying, remember the word which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God have given you rest and have given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, your cattle shall remain in the land which Moses gave you on this side of Jordan. But ye shall pass before your brethren armed, and all the mighty men of valor, and help them, until the Lord have given your brethren rest, as he have given you, and they also have possessed the land which the Lord your God giveth them. Then ye shall return unto the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses, the Lord's servant, gave unto you on this side towards the sun rising. So Reuben and Gad and Manasseh was there to help the other tribes to get settled in. All right. Verse 16, Joshua chapter 1:16. And they answered Joshua, saying, all that thou commandest us, we will do. And whithersoever thou sendest us, we will go. You see? So it's like, hey, man, I'm down for helping my people. Okay? Verse 17, according as we hearken unto Moses in all things, we will hearken unto thee. Only the Lord thy God be with thee as he was with Moses. All right? Whosoever he be that doeth rebel against thy commandment and will not hearken unto thy words and all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage. You see what the people said? All right. Chapter 2, verse 1. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thy house, for they be come to search out all the country. And the women took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, there came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whether the men went, I would not. So she's still explaining the story. Pursue after them quickly, for you shall overtake them. So this woman is now helping the 2 guys. Everybody got that point so far, right? All right. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house and hid them in the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the foes. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. So they stayed there all night. And she said unto the men, I know that the Lord have given you the land, and that your terror is falling upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. Look how people look and thought of us, man. So we're at Joshua chapter 2 and verse 10 now. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there any remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Guess what? Can you guys something to drink for me? Anything. Guess what? The other people, the other nations know about the Lord God of Israel. They know. Here's a woman right here that's telling them how they feel about, and they know about the Most High. So this is Joshua chapter 2 and 12. Now, therefore, I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have showed you kindness, that you will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token, and that ye will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. Look at this woman, man, investing in her future. And the men answered, our lives for yours. You saved our lives for yours. You continue to help us, we got you. If ye utter not this our business, check it out. And it shall be when the Lord have given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, get ye to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned. And afterward may ye go your way. One thing about Esau, Israel, you got to know and remember, when they looking for you, they looking for you. They don't just search a block, run a block. No. They will search every house in every subdivision. They would try every street, every alley, every cubby hole, every sinkhole. Yeah. This dude never stops pursuing. So remember that. Now, not saying that these are Edomites. I'm just saying, I guess it just made me think how Esau was, because these people were pursuing. All right. Now, and I don't think these were Edomites. These were melanated people. So continuing. Verse 17, and the men said unto her, we will be blameless of this thy oath, which thou hast made us swear. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window, which thou didst let us down by, and thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee. So they have to be in one house. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head. So don't come out, no matter what. Stay in one house, and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be upon his head, if any hand be upon him. And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thy oath, which thou hast made us to swear. And she said, according unto your word, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she found the scarlet line in the window. And they went and came unto the mountain, and abode there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not. So the two men returned and descended from the mountain, and passed over, and came to Joshua the son of Nun, and told him all things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, truly the Lord hath delivered into our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. Right? So this is Joshua chapter 3 and 1. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. So now Joshua is right there. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host, And they commanded the people, saying, when ye see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then ye shall remove from your place and go after it. So the ark was something that was upon like two poles and had four rings. It was like a chest. And it had the books of the covenant inside of it. It was overlaid with gold and things like that. So now, when they say, when you see that, then it's time to move out. Verse 4. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that ye know not, that ye may know the way by which ye must go. For ye have not passed this way hitherto. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And Joshua spake unto the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. So Joshua chapter 3 and verse 7. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, I will be with thee. And thou shalt command the priest that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when ye are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, ye shall stand still in Jordan. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come hither and hear the words of the Lord your God. And Joshua said, hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passeth over before you into Jordan. Now therefore take you 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of every man a tribe. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan may be cut off from the waters that come down from above. And they shall stand upon a heap. And it came to pass, when the people removed from their tents to pass over Jordan, and the priests burned the ark of the covenant before the people, and as they that bear the ark were before the Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped into the brim of the water, soon as they hit the edge of it, for Jordan overflowed all his banks all the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from above stood and rose up upon a heap very far from the city Adam, that is beside Zor-Etan. And those that came down towards the sea of the plain, even the seesaw, fell and were cut off. And the people passed over right against Jericho. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan. And all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all the people were passed clean over Jordan. So there were rivers and things that fed the Jordan River. All that stopped flowing. As soon as they hit, it was like you push pause. Like you looking at TV and somebody hit, and you looking at a waterfall and all of that, and you hit pause. Soon as they hit the brim, the edge of the water, all motion paused. Then the river parted and began to stack up on each side. And they crossed through. So when Israel saw that being performed through Joshua, they would know that the Most High was with Joshua like he was with Moses. Therefore, now they have to start listening and respect Joshua to the point to where, hey, now Joshua, this is the guy. You got to listen to his words and what he's telling you. So he knows what he's talking about. Joshua chapter 4, verse 1. Start there.
This is Joshua 4:1. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Take ye 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe of a man, and command ye them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where ye shall lodge this night. Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel out of every tribe a man. And Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Jordan, and take ye up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according unto the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean ye by these stones? Then ye shall answer them, that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. And the children of Israel did so as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, as the Lord spake unto Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them unto the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests which bear the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there unto this day. For the priests which bear the ark stood in the midst of Jordan until everything was finished that the Lord commanded Joshua to speak unto the people, according to all that Moses commanded Joshua. And the people hastened and passed over. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over, that the ark of the Lord passed over, and the priests, in the presence of the people. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half tribe of Manasseh passed over on before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. About 40,000 prepared for war passed over before the Lord unto battle, to the plains of Jericho. On that day the Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moses all the days of his life. And the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Command the priests that bear the ark of the testimony, that they come up out of Jordan. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, Come ye up out of Jordan. And it came to pass, when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord were come up out of the midst of Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up unto dry land, that the waters of the Jordan returned unto their place, and flowed over all his banks as they did before. And the people came up out of Jordan on the 10th day of this first month, and encamped in Gilgal, in the east before Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan did Joshua pitch in Gilgal. And he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, When your children shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean these stones? Then ye shall let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of Jordan from before you until you were passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us until we were gone over, that all the people of the earth might know the hand of the Lord, that it is mighty, that ye might fear the Lord your God forever. Joshua chapter 5:1. And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan from before the children of Israel until they were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was there spirit in them any more because of the children of Israel. At that time the Lord said unto Joshua, make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time. And Joshua made the sharp knives and circumcised the children of Israel at the heel of the foreskins. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise all the people that came up out of Egypt that were males, even all the men of war died in the wilderness by the way, after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came up out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness. So all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord swore that he would not show them the land, which the Lord swore unto their fathers that he would give us a land that floweth with milk and honey. And their children whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised. For they were uncircumcised because they had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp, till they were whole. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the selfsame day. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, art thou for us or for our adversaries? And he said, nay, but as the captain of the host of the Lord am I now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and did worship.
So who do you think that was? And he said, nay, but as captain of the host, he said, I am the true captain of this host. Right. That was Yahushua. A period. He said, I'm the true captain. That means I'm the prince of all these people. All right. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and did worship. So who else was mightier and stronger than Joshua? Nobody on this earth. Because he replaced what type of person? He replaced the meekest man of the world. You understand? Moses was the meekest person in the world. There was nobody more submissive that existed that walked the earth during his time than Moses. And Joshua succeeded him. So now you tell me what type of level we need to be on to have success. The Most High is not playing the games that we think he playing. You know who we're playing with? Satan. That's who we're playing with. In order to actually worship this God that we're reading about, we have to be highly spiritual, committed, dedicated, and devoted. We got to make our minds up. We got to set our heart straight. That's what the Bible says. Set your heart aright. All right. So Joshua fell on his face to the earth and did worship and said unto him, what said my Lord until what? Until who? His servant. So who did Joshua serve? Joshua served the God of Israel. So if it wasn't the God of Israel, the Most High, then it had to be his son. So it was his son, Yahushua. That's who it was, whom the world calls Jesus Christ. It was Christ. It was the Messiah. All right. And the captain of the Lord's host said unto Joshua, loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place wherein thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so. All right. Chapter 6, verse 1. Go ahead.
This is Joshua 6:1. Now Jericho was
So now
strengthened.
you know he got all. So now you know he got all counsel, advice, instruction, because Israel is going in to take the land, and the Lord come down to see his land. He come down to see this place on where Joshua and the Israelites is going into. Man, you can't tell me the Lord, man. The Lord's walking all through this situation, man. He's there. We seeing him. We reading about him. We hearing it. So it's more to meet this. You had to tell him a lot, man. Tell him what to do. Now Joshua was straightly shut up because of the children of Israel. Strategy. Christ brought in all strategy. Say, surround these jokers. This is what y'all gonna do. Giving Joshua the game. Go ahead, bro.
None went out and none came in.
He said, don't let nobody come out of there. So what you're reading is what he got from Christ. Yahweh Shai. So don't let nobody out. Don't let nothing go in. They ain't gonna re-up on no supplies. They ain't gonna do none of that. Leadership at its finest. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Joshua,
Uh-oh. You see?
See, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear the ark of the 7 trumpets of ram's horns. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times. And the priests shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city shall fall down flat. And the people shall ascend upon every man straight before him. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord.
All right, because the city Jericho was a walled city, and you couldn't climb the wall. They don't make. You ever seen like a football stadium? One of these NFL stadiums. You think you can climb that stadium to get in? You say, "Oh, I'm gonna go in and watch the game, so I'm gonna climb." No, you can't climb that thing, man. It's too tall. You get up a few feet, you get up about 20-something feet, you're gonna fall backwards, you're gonna crack your skull. You can't climb that, man. So Jericho it was a walled city. In Israel, the Lord said surround it, and he made the thing collapse. The Most High made it collapse. He said it's gonna fall flat. So it doesn't matter what people plan is on how they gonna be. The Most High already got a plan. So when Jericho was building the wall, the Most High already knew he gonna put Israel there. He had already knew. Say, for instance, when Israel was serving slavery and captivity in Egypt, they were building a wall. They said, "Oh, this wall, we're gonna build this, protect us." This, all that is temporal. The Most High already had his plan on what he was gonna do and how he gonna do it. That's why we not to worry. We gotta have this type of faith, and we gotta think like this. Well, let me think what the Most High feels and how he thinks and what we should do. That's how you're supposed to think on every level, all the time, with everything. You're not supposed to be concerned and worried, something, oh, this is out of my hands. I can't do this, I can't do that. Don't get into that, man. Just stick with the faith. The Most High is going to take care of this. The Most High is going to take care of that. He got this. He got that. He got it all laid out for me. And it's going to happen. All right? So, go ahead.
Verse 7. And he said unto the people, Pass on, and compass the city, and let him that is on pass on before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before the Lord, and blew with the trumpets. And the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. And the armed men went before the priests that blew the trumpets. And the reward came after the ark. the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth.
Neither shall any word. So you got to be disciplined. Who does that be talking, even though I'm be like, yo, okay, stop. It's still talking. So you couldn't be there and do that. You don't call your name out. You know who you are. Look at the specifics. This is what I'll be expecting. I'll say, okay, it's time. Let's wrap it up. Let's stop talking. You already had your time. Word's still coming out. This is very specific. Joshua commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout nor make any noise with your voice, not even a sound, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth. In order for that to work, everybody had to cooperate. That's the point what I'm stressing at that time. So if you were the type of person that you got a partner that chatterboxes with you anyway, guess what? That person is not obedient. This doesn't work. Actually, the Most High would judge you. All right, go ahead.
Until the day I bid you shout, then shall you shout. So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once. And they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually, and blew with the trumpets. And the armed men went before them. But the reward came after the ark of the Lord, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once, and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the drawing of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. And on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing.
So what was that? What was we supposed to do? He said the whole city is accursed. How much of it is accursed? Let me see. James.
All of it.
All of it? You sure?
Except the older house, her household.
Okay. But there is meat in there that's good, like lawful meat according to Leviticus 11. So you got the animals, the lambs, the goats, the cattle. What if you see burgers and stuff on the grill?
You said the whole city.
The whole city?
Yeah. Besides her household.
Okay. Besides the house. What about possessions? Go on there. Come on, this is a whole city. So you know people got stuff. What about that? He said the whole city is accursed. So that's the thing. When the scriptures teach us something, it's like we look for a gray area. Surely there's something outside of this that's still gonna make it kind of all right. Nah. Said the city. All right. So let's get more intel. Now we know only Rahab's the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that were sent. Can somebody be sitting on the porch trying to get the 411? What's gonna happen? They're gonna get killed. And they made that known to her, right? So sometimes if somebody tell you stay in the house, don't go out the house, is in the yard good enough? Because you're supposed to be in the house. Look at the detail. Look at what's, look at these scriptures. The details is all here. How we should be. All right. So let's continue.
Verse 18, and ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed, when ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and trouble it.
So what is the accursed thing? It's the city. So you got to keep yourself from anything that's in the city and make the camp of Israel a curse. What is the camp of Israel? See, because people be like, oh, I hate camps. What is the camp of Israel?
It's the assembly.
Exactly. It's the assembly. It's the whole nation. You make the nation accursed, and then you make the Most High deal with us. You'll turn the Most High against us as a nation, like we're not listening. So, brothers and sisters, the things that you do affect everybody. Yeah, it can affect everybody. When you sin, the Most High has the mind to where you're like, okay, I'm just gonna deal with everybody. All right. In Ezekiel, he did say the soul that sinned, shall die. At the same time, the Most High still, although like after the time of Christ, people were repenting, 70 AD still came to pass. So he didn't just destroy the sinners and leave the righteous. Righteous people went into captivity too. So like Jeremiah was a prophet, and they're right. But the Most High told him, so when you go to Jeremiah 17:9, it says, yeah, Jeremiah, you going into captivity too. Thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from your heritage. So he was talking to Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah, even you. So we have to think about the stuff that we do. It can affect your house. Like say, for instance, a married couple. Okay? You have a married couple. Just very quickly. Let's go to 1 Peter 3. All right, 1 Peter chapter 3, and then verse 7. All right, I'll read it. I'm trying to get it. Man and woman. Man and woman. Listen to this. There's a lot of young couples out there that fuss and fight with each other, feeling like you don't care what, about that person. It's actually you don't care about the laws of the Most High, which you don't care about, which you claim to be like, oh, it ain't the laws, it ain't the commandments, it's you that I got a problem with. Well, if it wasn't the law of the Most High, then you would greatly humble yourself regardless of what this other person is doing. There will be nobody that could correct and say you in the wrong for anything. If he or she is calling you out your name, if he or she is doing something wrong, it doesn't matter. Let them do wrong. When I see somebody doing something wrong, it doesn't make me go and do something wrong. It can try and tempt the bad habits that I have repented from, but I don't go into that. I say, you know what? I know not to do that. So now let's get to our precept. So it's First Peter chapter 3:7. It says, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge. That's also known as when you hear me to say, what? What are we supposed to do at home? Teach. Teach. Marriage is a big responsibility that brings trouble all the time. Trouble all the time. Sometimes it could be 24 hours a day. Sometimes it could be 48 hours a day. That's 2 days. Okay. 72 hours. That's 3 days. You can have stuff going on for days, man. Some people be out of order for a long time. Trouble. Marriage is not that courtship that a lot of people think it is. Oh, it's smooth. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, that's because you going one direction and they going the next direction. But you put them two minds, them two spirits, them two people together, then you start really seeing the person behind the mask, the person behind the facade. When you see the real person, a lot of people be trying to opt out. This ain't what I bargained for. This ain't what I signed up for. I was doing good by myself. See, but it's too late. That's why the Most High keep trying to pump your brakes. Because you gotta do at the end of the situation, scriptures gotta come out. You gotta dwell with them according to knowledge. I can remember sitting up all night, plenty of nights, and my wife be like, I gotta go to work in the morning. All right. Well, let's solve our problem there. 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Scriptures. And boy, I was able to go line upon line, precept upon precept, trying to make it sense. And then she had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be somewhere at 7 o'clock in the morning. And we stopped going over precepts at 3 in the morning. It is not the yellow brick road. But those days are way long gone, way long gone. So now, you guys dwell with them according to knowledge. So this is First Peter chapter 3:7, giving honor unto the wife. That means you got to pay attention to those necessities. Okay, meaning her spiritual. That's I'm gonna give honor. Okay, notice the things that she do, the things that she falls short on. Let me help her with that. That's what that's talking about. Most people are just out here, y'all know, just getting together. And it ain't spiritual. Ain't nothing spiritual about it. The spiritual part is that y'all like to get talked to. Yeah, you like to get talked to, preached to. Not corrected, but preached to. It's a difference. Okay? Tell you something smooth. Then it says, as unto the weaker vessel. Meaning this is, you're the strong person. What's the opposite of strong? Weak. You're the person that, let's see how I could help explain this. In charge. She's the person that has to follow your example. So her having to follow your example, you got to be using the scriptures and you got to be on that. But that doesn't make her a servant, a slave. She is far from that. She's a whole person that's trying to work out salvation, eternal life, and dwell with you according to these laws. So that means it's got to make sense to her too. And it has to be done charitable in a charitable fashion. She's not a child. She's not your child. She's not your child. She's not your maid. She's not your servant. She's not in captivity. None of that. SHIT. So the same respect that you look for is the same respect that she looked for. But you use the laws to say, hey, I'm going to speak and you listen, and then you can say what you need to say. Well, I'm going to stop and give you that. That's respect right there. But teaching in this book and these scriptures and these laws and these ways got to come out. That's what y'all take it. So now that y'all still with me, now it says, as being heirs together. Right. Because y'all want to be in this resurrection together. Okay. Now, it says, of the grace of life. The grace of life. So resurrection later, mercy now. You want good success now. Now, if y'all jacked up, you don't have good success now. If it's not right, you don't get good success now. We already read what you get. Tribulation and anguish. You get fat. And that's why so many people fuss and fight and that, because that was the Most High gave y'all over to them for being wicked with each other. Now, it says that, or being wicked with him first. You see this part, that your prayers be not hindered? Yeah, that means everything that you look for in life is put on halt. It's stopped up from what? Coming to you, flowing like the script, like the curses is. I mean, not the curses, but the blessings, flowing like the blessings when you read Deuteronomy chapter 28. Those blessings will flow to you, man. Where you will have this, you can have that, whatever, so on and so forth. Blessings can flow. But if you can't get this woman to agree to apply the scriptures, you ain't no blessings coming. That's the number one thing that you have got to sit down and get the woman to agree to apply the scriptures. How do you do that? How do you get a woman to agree? For you to get her to agree. How do you do that? Who knows? Who knows? To what?
By using the scriptures and showing her like the benefits. Of course, you also show her the judgments, what happens when you don't apply the scriptures, but you also show her the benefits, the peace that come from behind it, the Most High allowing them to be successful in their life, just the different, what people would say perks, but the benefits that come from applying the scriptures that usually help them to kind of agree.
Okay, that's true, but that works on somebody that's already persuaded. That works on somebody that's already persuaded. Okay, my man, go ahead. Give it a shot.
You do it first. Like you apply. Set the example for them. Like when hell was freezing over, it's just figure of speech. I mean, everything just hit the fan. It's an argument or it's a disagreement. You set the example by dealing right according to the scripture. And when you continue to do that, because it's gonna be times that men, like the husbands, make mistakes and get, kind of get out of pocket sometimes because of the fact of the woman going off. And we know that they know they ain't supposed to go off like that. But what we have to do is gather the situation by us as the ones that got to dwell according to knowledge. That's what we literally have to do, dwell according to knowledge by gathering the situation with ourselves first and dealing charitable, dealing being obedient.
Let me stop because you're gonna go on and on and on.
Yeah.
That It's true, but it still won't work by itself.
Okay.
So, um, the answer is go to Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 5. In verse 25. Now, the first four words, you brothers in here, let's read this together. 1, 2, 3. Husbands, love your wives. No, how can you count? Husbands, love your wives. Husbands, love your wife. You must love them, brother. A woman can tell if you love her. You can throw all the precepts you want to her. You can throw all the examples you want to her. But she knows if you love her. If you do not love this woman, you're going to have a hard time. Your example is not being seen because it's for you. It's not in love. You have to remember that. People move a certain way when you love them. You got to understand that. They move a certain way when you love them. You move a certain way when you love them. And that's the answer. That has to be coupled with the scriptures. Okay? Now, let's get back. To Joshua. Where do we stop at?
Verse 19.
Joshua 6 and verse 19. Go ahead.
But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord.
All right, so all the wealth that they will define was to come into the treasury. Okay, they were to come into the treasury. They were not to be coveted after. Okay, go ahead.
So the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword.
All right, so they destroyed everything. They destroyed men, women. It didn't matter what age they was. They destroyed the animals, the ox, the sheep. They destroyed all of that. Verse 22.
But Joshua had said unto the two men that had spied out the country, Go into the harlot's house, and bring out thence the woman and all that she had, as ye swear unto her. And the young men that were spies went in, and brought out Rahab, and her father, and her mother, and her brethren, and all that she had. And they brought out all her kindred, and left them without the camp of Israel. And they burnt the city with fire, and all that was therein. Only the silver and the gold and the vessels of brass and of iron they put into the treasury of the house of the Lord. And Joshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelt in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Joshua adjured them at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before the Lord that riseth up and buildeth this city, Jericho. He shall lay the foundation thereof in his firstborn, and in his youngest son shall he set up the gates of it. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country. Chapter 7 and 1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi.
So that means somebody didn't listen. Instructions was given on what to do. Achan, the son of Carmi, go ahead.
The son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel.
So just because one person did something, it angered the Most High. Go ahead.
And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-haven, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai.
So now Israel, remember, Israel is trying to take over everything that's around them. All right? They're trying to take over. They're trying to be the lords of the earth. Now they're going from Jericho to Ai. And Joshua again. So Joshua doesn't know what's going on. He's just living his life, him and the rest of Israel. So they send people to Ai, go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up. So look how confident they are. Because who actually had been doing all this work? The Lord was, right? But let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai. And make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. And there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. Oh. No, I got lost on mine. Hold up. Let me see if I can. Okay. Nothing I can do. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against, we read that. So remember, they got put to flight. Verse 3, we read that. Verse 4. So there went up thither of the people, about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. Start at verse 5. Thank you.
And the men of Ai smote them about 36 men. For they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? After all the success they had, then they lose. So, have any of us, without a show of hands, have any of us ever had success with something? And then all of a sudden, you don't have success. You lose. All right. That's what happened with Israel. All right. Go ahead.
Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide. He and the elders of Israel, and put dust on their heads. And Joshua said, Alas, O Lord God, wherefore hast thou and all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us? Would to God we have been content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan. O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us about round, and cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name? And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face? Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
Right. So he said, so the Lord was bringing it out. Somebody stole, said they disassembled. Disassembled meaning they have fallen away from the truth. So when we sin, do we not realize that you are not in the body of Christ, that you are not in the truth when you commit your sin? And a lot of people be thinking that, yo, I'm still in sport. No, when you sin, you're not in the truth. You might have the book still, and you have the clothes still, but you're not in the truth. He just told, hey, they disassembled. They are not in the assembly. They have fallen out of the assembly. That's what assembly is, put together. It's assembled. It's put together. Disassembled is to be falling apart. This is not what we want to be.